This is the most books I've ever bought at once. So I figured we could do a book haul, unboxing, and going through all of the books that I got. I'm guessing there's probably about 20 books in here, which is a lot, but I have been wanting to get more physical books of the books on my TBR. And when I went to look on Amazon to purchase some of them, Amazon happened to be having a huge sale. So a lot of these books I got for $5 to $10, which really is not bad. So I'm excited to go through all of them with you. I think we'll just start from the top. I'm so excited to open all of these. It's been very tempting to open them as the packages came over the last few days, but I wanted to open them all at once, so this is very exciting. Okay, first book, Daydream. This is part of the Maple Hills series, which is interconnected standalones. I've read Icebreaker and Wildfire. Those were the first two. They're hockey romances. I think I gave both of the first two books 4 stars, so I did enjoy them. And this is the last one, so very excited to read this one. This one follows Henry, who's a junior in college. He's the captain of the hockey team, and he ends up joining a book club with a girl named Hallie. She starts tutoring Henry, and they create a rule book where they say, "Don't fall in love." I think this cover is really cute too with the characters. So I feel like this will be a quick, easy romance read. One down, a lot more to go. Oh, this is one of the books that Adam got. There are a couple in here, so I'm gonna put this aside for him. This one's a little bent, so that's a bummer, but I feel like that's just what happens when you order books online. Hopefully I can just put some other books on top of that and flatten it, but this is Ready or Not by Cara Stone. I have not read a book by her yet, but I've been interested in a bunch of them, especially Ready or Not. This one's an accidental pregnancy romance. It's slow burn, friends to lovers. I love friends to lovers. This book follows the course of her entire pregnancy. My baby is 10 months old now, so I'm sure there's a lot I'll be able to relate to with her going through pregnancy. I also think this cover is really beautiful. I've heard a lot about this one, so I'm excited to finally have a physical copy of it and be able to put it on my TBR cart. Onto the boxes. These are heavy. I feel like there's definitely a few books in each of these. Ooh, Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is one of the books on my fall TBR, so all the books that I really want to get to reading this fall. This is a fantasy romance. It follows Ophelia. She enters a competition, has to stay alive, and if she does, the winner is granted a wish. There's magic, a cursed manor, and a charming, arrogant stranger who she has an overwhelming dark attraction for. This is definitely a good fall read. I think I put this on my fall TBR. I'm pretty sure. These sprayed edges and this cover are so beautiful. This is The Weaver Bride. Oh, this is stunning. That's really pretty. It's really nice that with the sale, these special edition books were not that expensive. It says love is a weapon on the edge. That's gorgeous. This is about Lavette. She's a silk witch, so she has a rare magic, but you can only harness the magic if you get married to a weaver. So that's why it's called The Weaver Bride. So she's looking to find a husband, and she has a secret ability to open any door. So she uses that to be a thief. Then she ends up going into a marriage competition. But last year, the winner of the competition died, so it's also a murder mystery. This sounds like it has a lot of good stuff. I just read The Rose Bargain, which is a marriage competition, and I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, that whole trilogy, which is romantasy, and this is kind of reminding me of different elements of both of those books. I'm excited. This sounds so good. Next box. The Naturals. This is on my fall TBR. This is a young adult mystery novel. It is a series of 4 books, I think, and it's kind of reminiscent of Criminal Minds. I love that TV show, or at least I used to watch it a lot. But it's about the Naturals program where this 17-year-old girl, Cassie, is a part of. And it's an FBI program where teenagers help to solve crime cases. So it's a murder mystery where they're trying to figure out who the killer is. She's working together with a bunch of other teens who are in this Naturals program. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. She also wrote The Inheritance Games. I have not read that series yet, but it's on my TBR. The other day, I also just realized that the same author wrote the Raised by Wolves series. And I read this in grade school. I think I was in 5th grade. I did a book report on the Raised by Wolves book. I was just talking to my husband about this. I remember everyone else was doing books like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I did this whole alpha wolf romance book about a 15-year-old girl who goes to live with a werewolf pack. So that's so funny. I just saw these on my bookshelf the other day. Totally had forgotten about them. Hadn't looked at these in so long. And when I was ordering this, just happened to realize that the same author wrote this, and The Inheritance Games. So that's a pretty cool coincidence. Next book, I got Immortal Consequences. This cover and the sprayed edges are also so beautiful. Normally I prefer reading paperbacks, but for some of these special editions where they're just so beautiful like this, I do enjoy getting the hardcovers. Also, for some reason on Amazon, I feel like the hardcovers are actually less expensive than the paperbacks. So even though I have a slight preference for paperback, I'm just gonna get whichever version's the least expensive. It's not that deep. But that's a really cool cover. It kind of looks like an hourglass. And the back says, 6 rivals, 1 victor. Eternity is only the beginning. On the front it says, some fates are worse than death. So this is a competition. It takes place in an academy. So it's academic rivals between an ambitious girl and a charming playboy. It follows 6 students who are competing in this game that only happens once a decade, and it allows the students, the one who wins, to either join an elite group or cross over to the other side, which I think is the afterlife. Very excited about this. So many of these have been on my TBR for a while, and I've just been waiting to read them. I haven't really bought new books in a while, so it's nice to have a refresh of books that I'm interested in, especially since I've been working through a lot of the books on my physical TBR. I feel like I've been doing a decently good job with that, so it's a nice reward to get some new ones that I'm interested in. Ooh, so beautiful. Again, another gorgeous cover. Blood of Hercules. This is very pretty. It says it's the collector's edition. Again, look at those sprayed edges. I'd have to check the exact price, but I know a lot of these were $5 to $10, maybe $15 for the special edition hardcovers. But I feel like that's a really good deal. I love that. On the back it says, I'm just a girl, and it turns out I'm Hercules. So I know this is a mythological book. This girl finds out that she is one of these powerful elite Spartans. So she is forced to attend a war academy and see if I have what it takes to be an immortal. So these gods are her professors and her mentors. It also says that someone is stalking her. This book is by Jasmine Moss, and I am actually going to an author event this month to meet her. She's on tour for the release of the 2nd book in this series. So I wanted to make sure I could read this book before meeting her and bring the book, get it signed. So I'm very glad this arrived. I have a couple of weeks to read it. So this one will be top priority for me to get to. Thorn Season, another hardcover with pretty sprayed edges. That's really cool. It's a tree, some flowers. There's a castle on the cover. I just took the cover off and it's so pretty on the inside too, underneath the dust jacket. I love that. It's like shiny rose gold. There's a gorgeous picture inside of a garden. That's what's sprayed onto the edges, is that picture that's inside. It's about a girl who has illegal magic. It takes place in a palace. It's about survival. There's two dangerous men who will either be her salvation or her ruin. I feel like that's kind of reminding me of the Rose Bargain as well. There's a map inside. I feel like I don't know much about this one. That was a pretty brief description and there's just a quote on the back, but based on the tropes, it sounds good. And it's definitely pretty. There are more pictures in the back. That's really beautiful too. This box has a lot of books in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 books in this box. That is the most that have been in any of these boxes so far. Coda, you're in this camera. Coda. That's funny. They individually wrapped this book because it is an author signed edition, which is pretty cool. This is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. She wrote the Fourth Wing series, and this is one of the romance books that she wrote before writing that. So it should have her signature inside. It's hardcover, there's no dust jacket on it, but it has sprayed edges, and it looks pretty. And yep, right on the first page, she signed it in purple marker. So that's pretty cool. And in the back of the book, there is a picture, so that's cool as well. I'm pretty sure this is a military romance that involves cancer, so it's definitely a very sad book. Beyond that, I don't know much about it, so I'm pulling up the description on Goodreads. It seems like our main female character's brother died in the military, so he asks his best friend to go take care of his sister, who is also raising twins. So that is a very sad setup for this book, but it also means it's going to be very moving. So it'll be cool to read one of Rebecca Yarros' earlier novels, since I have not read a romance book by her. I've only read the Fourth Wing series. So in my mind, I know her as a fantasy author, but I do know that she started with contemporary romance. And it is pretty cool that she signed it. There it is again. Very neat. Oh, and the same picture that's in the back is in the front of the cover as well. All right, next book is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This is on my fall TBR. It is a long book, I think over 600 pages or almost 600, but this is a wolf book. It's the first in a series about this girl who's going through the bonding trials, where there's a competition to bond with these dire wolves. So it's a wolf romance. Heard good things about this, and I like the cover. It looks cool. I think the next book is coming out relatively soon too. May of 2026, so not super soon, but at least we know when it will be released. Another wolf book. This is Mate by Allie Hazelwood. This one just came out a week ago, I think. Very recent release, but this is the next book after Bride. It's her first time writing paranormal romance, but I liked it. It was a wolf ex-vampire romance. So I think Mate follows different characters. The romance in this one was kind of set up towards the end of Bride. So I'm probably gonna have to look back on Bride. I feel like it's been a little while since I read it. I need to remember the characters so that I can fully get into this one. But hopefully I enjoy it as much as I did the first one. Next is The Cruel Prince. I've seen so much about this book. I don't actually know what it's about, but I've seen it everywhere. And I've often seen it grouped together with people who loved the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. They've said to read this too, and I loved the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I just finished reading it about a week ago. Can't stop thinking about the characters, which definitely means I should read Carable, since some of the characters from Once Upon a Broken Heart are in there. Technically, I should have read that first, but that's okay. But let's see. The Cruel Prince is a series. It follows Jude, whose parents were murdered, and then she was taken away to live in the High Court of Fairy. And many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. So this is romantasy. The mention of Fae is making me think of ACOTAR, which I liked that. So hopefully I'll like this too. This stack is getting very high. Another one of Adam's books. And then The Prison Healer, another one from my fall TBR. This is young adult, follows a woman who is in charge of keeping the queen alive so that the queen can undergo these trials that dangerous criminals have to go through. But instead of making the queen go through it, this girl decides to risk her own life and go through the trials in the queen's place. And if she wins, which no one ever has, then both of them will be free and survive. So there's prison, trials, romance. Seems like a good fall read. On to the last box. Maybe I shouldn't have tilted that. This is a lot of books. I'm very happy with it, but I'm gonna have to reorganize my bookshelves after this because I got new bookshelves. I keep looking over there because I have other books over there. A lot of the books that I like most I have behind me on this bookshelf, but that over there I want to move my favorite books to. This is kind of the books I loved when I was younger, and that's kind of the books I've been reading more recently. That one also wraps around the corner, whereas this one doesn't. So that's a cute spot. I have a reading chair over there. Oh boy. Okay. This is all from the same series, the Legacy series. These books are huge. I just recently learned about this series. I know it's on Kindle Unlimited, but I don't have Kindle Unlimited, and my library does not have these books, unfortunately. So nowadays, I normally don't buy an entire series. I just try and get the first one, see if I like it, and then buy the rest. But I actually just won a Goodreads giveaway for the 4th book in this series, and so I have to read all these other ones first. I just found out I won the giveaway a couple of days ago, so it's not here yet. As soon as I found out, I went and ordered these books because I need to get started reading them. But the first one's called Reign of Shadows and Endings. This book has gods and fae. There's a selection competition type of thing where each of these kingdoms are choosing a person to be their source of power, and this is dark romance. These also are very long books. This one's over 600 pages. I think all of them are over 600 pages. The most recent one coming out, the 4th book that I won the giveaway for, is 800 pages. So I have a lot of reading to do. But there's Reign of Shadows and Endings, Storm of Secrets and Sorrow, Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance, Dawn of Chaos and Fury. That's the 4th book. And I entered the giveaway because I had seen the book everywhere. So normally I try not to enter giveaways if it's not the first book in the series. But the series looked good. I was interested. I've seen other booktubers say that this series is one of their 6-star reads. So I'm intrigued. Goodreads giveaways are actually so cool. I won another book recently, I think just a couple months ago, Season of the Witch. There's a lot of new releases on there that you can enter giveaways for, or books that are about to come out. So they're giving you an early copy. This one came out right when I got it, so a couple months ago, but it is a wintry witch romance. So I figured since it's kind of about Christmas time, it would be nicer to read this when the weather cooled down more. So I've been saving this one for later in the year to read. And a few days ago as well, I actually just found out I won another Goodreads giveaway for House of Dragons. That one follows a girl who's half fae, half human, and she's entering this elite training program for fae. That almost fell. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's straighten this pile a little bit. I'm glad I caught that. House of Dragons is the name of the training program, and they're selecting students for these 12 houses. There's also a bargain and a cursed Fae prince. So I'm excited. That one's the first in the series, so I won't have to read anything for that. Season of the Witch, this is actually the third in the series, but it's interconnected standalone, so totally okay for me to just read this one on its own, which is what I'm planning on doing. It might take me a little bit to get to the fourth one of the Legacy series, even once the book arrives, just because the books prior are so long, but I'm hoping I like it. That would be a bummer if I don't. If you've read that series, let me know what you think of it, because that is a big investment to read all of that. A lot of time. Goodreads doesn't tell you when the books that you win will come in the mail, so I didn't want to wait to film this because it said it could take 6 to 8 weeks. I think this one took just a few weeks. But I did still want to share those books with you though, because that's pretty cool if you're looking for a way to get free books. There's no harm in just trying to enter the Goodreads giveaways. Honestly, looking through the Goodreads giveaways is a fun way for me to keep up to date on what new books are being released. So even though it takes time to enter the giveaways, and most of them that you enter you're not going to win, I do still get a lot out of it, just getting to look through all the books and find other books that I'm interested in. One more book I got recently, I actually picked this up from Costco, but I got Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, which is a murder mystery of a girl who only has a week left to live. So she's trying to solve her own murder after someone tried to kill her and left her with a brain injury that will ultimately kill her in a week. This is another one on my fall TBR. This is a huge stack of books. I would lift this up, but I'm afraid I'll drop it. It's pretty heavy. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18 new books that I got, 2 that my husband got, and then I talked about a couple others that I'm waiting to come in the mail for. But thank you for watching this book haul. It was fun to go through and unbox all of these books with you. If you want to see me read these and talk about them, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.